Okay, everybody, how's it going? So today I'm back with another video, and today I'm doing the Head Supershape E-Rally, the 2026 model, the full ski review, as I mentioned in my last video, which if you haven't seen that, go back and check that out. I talk about two new skis that I will be skiing on this year, and the Supershape E-Rally is one of them, and I said I would make a full review after I got a couple days on them. So I've skied them 2 days now, so I'm going to make the full review. So in this video, I'm going to do some more of the on snow and performance type talk here. And if you check out the last video, it's called New Year, New Skis. This is my last long form video on the channel. You'll see I talked about more of some of the technical specs, and I talked more about the ski, what it says it is on paper. So if you want to see more of what they're supposed to be like on paper, go check that video out. And this is going to be the on snow review. But just coming in real quick, these are a 177 length I'm talking about. They have a 15.3 radius. Obviously, if you bump down to the 170 or shorter, it's going to have a slightly smaller radius. And these are 128, 78, 112. And I believe the shorter versions will have a 76 or a 77 underfoot, and mine are 78 because I'm on the 177. And in a 170, they are 2,408 grams. Without bindings in a 170, so the 177 is obviously heavier, and that in itself is a pretty heavy ski to start. But obviously this is a ski made for groomers, where if you're gonna go for an all-mountain ski, like say a Salomon QST in a 170, that's probably gonna be 1,700 grams without bindings, or 1,600 grams without bindings. So it's all what you want in the ski. So first off, I'm gonna start off talking about what I felt when I rode the ski. So first things first, my dad also rode the ski, and in his words, he said it was probably the best ski he's ever ridden. And I could agree, it's probably the best ski I've ever ridden. Now, that being said, it's not my favorite ski I've ever ridden, but that's only because I don't like to ski like that all the time, where you constantly have to, keep a ski on edge and constantly have to work hard to ski it. But it is probably the best ski I've ever skied, and I will tell you why. First of all, the first thing I felt when I got on the ski, I was on a low angle blue slope. The transition from turn to turn, from edge to edge, it's like the thing literally, it feels like it has autopilot. All you got to do is just kind of go with the flow, and the ski will move itself from edge to edge. It is the smoothest transitioning ski I've ever felt. But the way it transitions edge to edge is incredibly smooth, the best I've ever felt. And another thing is the dampness. And I attribute that dampness probably to the EMC technology, the energy management circuit technology, which I talked about in the last video. And that's another thing, is the dampness on these skis is like I've never felt in a pair of skis before. And I've skied a lot of different, I've had Volcal Race Tigers, I've skied a lot of different all-mountain and carving skis, and I've had Elan GS skis. And also, my dad has a set of Head Supershapes. This is when they were called the I-Rally, from 2016. So obviously that was 10 years ago, or 10 model years ago. Mine are 2026 model. And they are nothing like these new skis. These skis are incredibly damp, and they're incredibly smooth edge to edge. I skied on some Eastern Hardpack on them last weekend, and they had very good edge grip on ice. Obviously they're brand new, so they're sharp as they're ever gonna get, and they're waxed up. They also skied very fast. But yeah, when it comes to the feeling when you're riding them, the ride quality, it's pretty exceptional. It's probably definitely the best ski I've ever ridden when it comes to that. Now, something I felt was, so when you're going down a steep run, this is one of the things I felt that were, I guess, a downside of the ski, you would say, but they're also not really meant to be skied this way. But when you're going down a steep, obviously sometimes you're not going to be on edge the whole time if you're going down something super steep, or just in general, depending on how fast you're going or whatever. Now, when you're trying to release the tail on these skis and kind of make like a swish turn, they don't love that. They want to be on edge, so they don't really want to make just flat, side-to-side turns where you just wash out and release the tail. They don't love that. But of course, that is not the intention of this ski. And obviously it wants to be on edge. So like, this is not something you're probably going to want in the moguls. And it's not something you're probably going to want in obviously fresh snow or super cut up snow. It's something you're going to want on a groomer, and especially on hard pack. Now, another downside to the ski, I would say, like again, I wouldn't really call these down. This is just what I felt is the weight, and that kind of goes along with what I was just saying with releasing the tail and trying to make quick kind of mogul type turns. They're a little heavy for that, but again, that's not what they're meant for. They're meant to carve, but obviously I have to just, you know, it's got to be goods and bads and everything. I've got to say, I'm just trying to tell you guys what they're good at and what they're not so good at. So that's the thing. They're a lot slower. Like I ski a Blizzard Rustler 9 as my main all mountain ski, and these Supershapes are a lot slower in like a side to side mogul type turn than my much lighter Rustler 9s are going to be. But I mean, still, I wouldn't let that really discourage anyone. Obviously, you know, if you buy these skis, you're probably going to have another set of all mountain skis, I would assume, or powder skis or something. Okay, so now I'll get into who do I think that this ski best suits. So in my opinion, the ideal candidate for this ski would be someone who is maybe an ex-racer, such as myself, that used to race, and they still like to get out there, and they still like to, you know, carve, make some turns like maybe they're hitting gates, and, you know, someone that likes to be on edge a lot and go fast. So someone like, you know, a younger person maybe that wants to carve and make some good turns. And also, I would say maybe a middle-aged person, or even a younger person too, you know, whatever. But even someone that doesn't have a racing background, someone that maybe just likes to ski groomers and doesn't go off the trail much, and maybe doesn't see a lot of fresh snow, and you want to be, you know, you still want to lay some nice carving turns down, and you want to be able to go fast, and you want something stable that's not going to get bounced around. And if you don't mind it being a little heavier, a little bit on the heavier side, I think this is a perfect ski. Who's it not for? Let's see, maybe, well, if you get a ton of fresh snow, I probably wouldn't recommend it. If you're skiing a lot off-piste and in the trees and in the moguls, not going to be the ski you're going to want. But again, if you are shooting to go fast down groomers and hold an edge on ice, then this is going to be the ski for you, in my opinion. So that's my experience with the ski. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below. But that's about all I got for this video. So follow along for more. Keep posting more videos. If you want to see anything else, let me know down below what you'd like to see. Thanks.